Another day, another story. The Enola Gay is the Boeing B-29 Superfortress bomber that dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima, Japan, on August 6, 1945, during World War II. The aircraft was piloted by Colonel Paul Tibbets of the U.S. Army Air Forces and was named after his mother, Enola Gay Tibbets. The bomb, nicknamed Little Boy, caused massive destruction, killing an estimated 80,000 people instantly, with tens of thousands more dying later from radiation exposure. This event, along with the atomic bombing of Nagasaki 3 days later, contributed to Japan's surrender and the end of World War II. Today, the Enola Gay is preserved at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum's Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center in Virginia. The story of Enola Gay and the Hiroshima bombing. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. The Enola Gay was a Boeing B-29 Superfortress bomber specifically chosen and modified for a secret mission as part of the Manhattan Project. The aircraft became infamous for dropping the world's first atomic bomb used in warfare on August 6, 1945, over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. Development of the mission during World War II, as the United States sought a way to end the war with Japan, the Manhattan Project, a top-secret program, developed nuclear weapons. By mid-1945, after successful atomic bomb tests in the U.S., President Harry Truman and his advisors decided to use the weapon against Japan to force a swift surrender. The 509th Composite Group, led by Colonel Paul Tibbets, was tasked with carrying out the atomic bombings. Tibbets personally selected his B-29 aircraft and named it Enola Gay after his mother, Enola Gay Tibbets. The aircraft underwent modifications to carry the heavy bomb, Little Boy, which was a uranium-based nuclear weapon. The Hiroshima mission on August 6, 1945, at around 2:45 a.m., the Enola Gay took off from Tinian Island in the Pacific Ocean, accompanied by two other B-29s. One carried scientific instruments, and the other was there to take photographs. At approximately 8:15 a.m. local time, Little Boy was dropped over Hiroshima from an altitude of about 31,000 feet. 43 seconds later, it detonated approximately 1,900 feet above the city, unleashing an explosion equivalent to about 15,000 tons of TNT. The blast and resulting firestorm destroyed much of Hiroshima, killing an estimated 80,000 people instantly. Tens of thousands more perished in the following days, weeks, and months due to burns, radiation sickness, and injuries. Aftermath and second bombing. Despite the devastating destruction in Hiroshima, Japan did not immediately surrender. On August 9, the U.S. dropped a second atomic bomb on Nagasaki, carried by another B-29 named Boxcar. 3 days later, on August 15, Japan announced its surrender, leading to the official end of World War II on September 2, 1945. Controversy and legacy. The use of the atomic bomb remains one of the most controversial decisions in military history. Some argue it was necessary to end the war quickly and prevent further casualties, while others believe Japan was already on the verge of surrender and that the bombings caused unnecessary suffering. Today, the Enola Gay is preserved and displayed at the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum's Stephen F. The full story of the Enola Gay and the Hiroshima bombing. The Enola Gay was not just another bomber, it was at the center of one of the most significant and controversial events in human history. This is the detailed story of how the aircraft was chosen, the mission itself, and the lasting impact of that fateful day on August 6, 1945. The birth of the Enola Gay. The Enola Gay was a Boeing B-29 Superfortress, one of the most advanced bombers of World War II, designed for long-range missions. It was part of the U.S. Army Air Force's 509th Composite Group, a highly secretive unit formed specifically to carry out the atomic bombings. Colonel Paul Tibbets, a skilled pilot with extensive combat experience in Europe and North Africa, was chosen to lead the group. He was given the responsibility of selecting and training a special crew for what would become the most significant bombing mission in history. Tibbets personally selected B-29 serial number 4486292, which had been modified to carry atomic bombs. He named the aircraft Enola Gay after his mother, Enola Gay Tibbets, as a tribute to her support throughout his life. Preparations for the mission to drop the atomic bomb was part of the top-secret Manhattan Project, the U.S. initiative to develop nuclear weapons. By mid-1945, the U.S. had successfully tested an atomic bomb in the New Mexico desert, proving its destructive potential. Japan, despite suffering devastating losses, had refused to surrender. The Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration on July 26, 1945, warning Japan of prompt and utter destruction if it did not surrender unconditionally. Japan ignored the ultimatum, leading President Harry Truman to authorize the use of atomic weapons. Hiroshima was chosen as the first target because it was an important military and industrial center, and it had not been heavily bombed, making it an ideal location to demonstrate the bomb's full impact. The Hiroshima mission, August 6, 1945 takeoff and flight at 2:45 a.m. on August 6, 1945, the Enola Gay took off from North Field, Tinian Island, in the Pacific Ocean. The crew consisted of 12 men, including Tibbets as the pilot and Major Thomas Farabee as the bombardier. The bomb, Little Boy, was loaded onto the aircraft only a few hours before takeoff, as it was considered too dangerous to carry while on the ground. Dropping the bomb at 8:15 a.m., the crew reached Hiroshima at an altitude of 31,000 feet. Major Thomas Farabee aligned the crosshairs of the Norden bomb site over the city center and released Little Boy. The bomb fell for 43 seconds before detonating approximately 1,900 feet above Hiroshima. The explosion unleashed the equivalent of 15,000 tons of TNT, creating a blinding flash followed by a massive shockwave and fireball that engulfed the city. Destruction and immediate aftermath. A mushroom cloud from the explosion rose over 60,000 feet into the air, visible for hundreds of miles. The Enola Gay flew away safely, feeling the shockwave even at a distance of 11 miles. The crew members were shaken but successful in their mission. Colonel Tibbets later recalled seeing the city vanish under the mushroom cloud. Reaction and second bombing. Despite the unimaginable destruction, Japan did not immediately surrender. 3 days later, on August 9, 1945, a second bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on Nagasaki by another B-29 boxcar, killing an estimated 70,000 people. On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender, leading to the official end of World War II on September 2, 1945. The fate of the Enola Gay. After the war, the Enola Gay was flown back to the U.S. and stored for decades. In 1984, it was restored by the Smithsonian Institution, and in 2003, it was placed on display at the National Air and Space Museum's Stephen F. Udvar-Hazy Center in Virginia. Today, it remains one of the most controversial aircraft in history, symbolizing both the technological triumph of the atomic age and the horrors of nuclear war. Legacy and controversy. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki remain deeply debated topics. Some argue that the bombings ended World War II quickly, preventing a costly invasion of Japan that could have killed millions. Saved both American and Japanese lives in the long run by avoiding prolonged war. Others believe the bombings were morally unjustified, as they killed tens of thousands of civilians. Were unnecessary, as Japan was already close to surrender. The legacy of Enola Gay serves as a reminder of both the power of scientific advancements and the devastating consequences of war. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.